Whew. Engaging silver pellet. Got to get moving. Exhaust coming through my freaking heater there. You sit in one spot there, and the breeze is kind of behind you. It pushes all the exhaust up into the engine bay, and then you're like sucking it in through this. Oh, window's frozen. A little bit of carbon monoxide never hurt anybody. I don't feel sleepy yet, so I'm good. Okay, so got to keep my eyes peeled because I'm looking for, well, let me tell you what happened. So today is a day, normally I'm here on Wednesdays. Today's Tuesday because my client had an appointment or something for tomorrow, so we switched it up. And I got there, I'm walking down the hill with my axe, I walked by the wood pile, and I noticed there was a piece of plastic on the ground. I'm like, what the heck is that from? At first I thought, well, maybe it was something of mine that broke, you know what I mean? And then when I walked to the front of the car, I was like, oh, the whole front fender thing, skirt thing, all pulled out. I'm like, oh no. When she backed up, she hit the side at night. She backed up and she hit caught the corner there, and it just ripped everything off. But I think the trim on the bottom of the door might have fell off over here. I don't know if this little old lady's home or not, because they're probably not. And I don't want to freak her out, you know. It's like she said she came in here, and let's see if I see it. Nobody behind me. Is that it there? No, I don't see it, so probably find it in the spring. I told her if I find it, I'll bring it back, but that's not as critical as the other part. But it's a nice little green Forester, and it's not that old. It's, I think, maybe 3-4 years old. And this thing was like immaculate, eh? So I was like, So I just, she's like, you think you can do anything with it? I said, no, I'll try my best, whatever. And I kind of already knew that I probably wasn't going to be able to do anything to it. And basically one of these that just passed me there, only in a different color. And a little bit newer than that one. But it was like, the way it pulled out, they pulled the light, everything forward, so most of the tabs are still on it, so they'll be able to fix it to a degree. But there's like a plastic on the bottom that I guess goes between the frame and this skirting, and you can see the tabs were broken off, so the bottom is going to be FUBEred for sure. The side might go back in, I don't know, but it's never going to look new again. I told her, I said, no, just tell people you went off-roading. Yeah, she might not have found that as funny as I did, but little old lady, no, I'm not going to do that. I feel bad, like, looking at it. I feel so bad that there's nothing I could do for her, because, like, they've been such good clients over the years, you know, like, they've really helped me out, and, you know, it's like, I'm like, geez, I wish there was a way I could fix it to save her the money, but it's like, if something like that happens to this car is going to be Mad Max until it either gets pulled off the road or whatever, because the front skirt, that's like $3,000 for $1,500, $3,000, God knows what those things are worth. And then we put them on, it's like, it's 10 grand of damage, you know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be, but, you know, it's a scam, right? You know, like it's a big piece of plastic. You're telling me that thing's 10 grand, you know what I mean? And you're telling me the dealership's going to charge you that much to put it back on. Like, I know there's work involved. Don't kid yourself. Like, that's a good day's work for a mechanic right there. But come on, 10 grand, you know what I mean? I don't know if it's going to cost her 10 grand, but it might cost her 3 or something. But even at that, like, you know, like, it should be able to be fixed for, like, say, under $500, you know? The local mechanic, I don't know if he would have the time to do it, or if he'd be set up to do it. So if she has to go to the dealership, that's going to be they're going to soak her, you know what I mean? Ah, well, what could you do? But that said, no beaver today. Almost a beaver. Because my beaver had a PhD and he used his stick to set off my darn trap. Stupid beaver, outsmarting me like that. How dare you? How dare you? Yeah. Beaver trapping's fun. I told her all about it, the beaver with the PhD. She's like, oh, I said, it confirms that they're there for sure. And I wish I would have been able to video it, but I just, I had to get stuff done. And even though it's not a full day, like I got a full day, the full shift. I only worked 3 hours there. She paid me for the full 3 hours when I didn't work the full 3 hours. It's like, just wasn't much to do. But I split a bit of wood, and whatever. Took out my traps. But I went out in the canoe anyway, and it was like, it's a big Scott, 16-foot Scott fiberglass canoe. This thing weighs 1,000,000 pounds, but what a tank. I was like, I wonder if I'm gonna be able to get in and out of the water without flipping this thing. Because like it's not the same as coming off of sand as it is coming off of ice, right? So like I had to go out on the shore part's icy. It's not deep or nothing, but it was like the back of the canoe is like kind of sliding around on it, where the sand kind of holds you there and you can kind of balance. But this is kind of like you had to be kind of quick on your feet to balance the canoe. But I got out on there. I paddled it in a big circle just cause. Did a couple of side. I had to work my side, where you go like this with the paddle and get the canoe to go sideways. But I'm sitting a little bit far back because I can't sit in the center because I got have to have a place to put the traps, right? So as I'm pulling them out, well, it was one trap and a bunch of sticks or whatever. So I was able to do it, but the front end was kind of going around, like flopping around a bit, just because the canoe was on, like all my weight's at the back, right? So rather than sitting in the center where it's supposed to be. But it's just, it's easier to deal with breaking the ice and stuff. So I broke the ice from the canoe, and I pulled the trap out. I might try it there again next year, but next year I think I'm just going to blitzkrieg the dam. But I'm going to see if I'm going to get, because she has a couple of canoes there, I'm going to get one of the smaller ones and leave it back at the other place near the end of the summer. So I could, get everything set up and really set it up really good. And when I do, then when it's time to trap, I can blitzkrieg it, and get the beaver house, get everything. You know what I mean? Like I'll mark off the beaver house entrances and all that. Like that's the stuff you do in your off season when during the summer or fall or whatever, early fall. Is you find all that stuff out. The earlier you find that stuff out, you can mark the beaver entrances. You can use anything, a stick, a ribbon, whatever. Whatever it takes. You can draw a diagram, whatever it takes, and just get that set up. So when it's time to go, you just put your trap in and bang, away you go, right? But I got to get those trap holders. I remember last year I ordered them up, but from I forget what they call it, the Northern Store. Not the Northern Store. It's part of the Fur Harvesters Auction trapping store. I forget what they're called, the Northern Trapping Store. It's something along that lines anyway. And they sent me everything, but the one thing they didn't send me was, I guess I better. The one thing they didn't send me was the trap holders, which are so much easier to use. All right, now I go. Oh, look at that back dash. That's not good. Squeal of doom. So I got one more job to do today for my aunt, and then after that, it's maybe tomorrow. If it's like this tomorrow, I'll do the chimneys. Yeah. I'll have to look at the forecast tonight because it could be really shitty tomorrow. But I want to get those chimneys done. Just because I got to go up on the icy roof. Nothing dangerous about that. Yeah. It's just that, like, my aunt's roof is not too bad. But my roof, I have to climb up it from a different angle. And, yeah, well, you know, it's a pain in the ass, right? So, because you got to anchor, you got to get it's just the way the roofs are, you know. So yeah, not a bad day so far, except for my poor. I feel bad for my client. I really do. It's like, you know,